My brother had gone in the Navy and I really missed him. And I see a McDonald's commercial where the big brother is handing off French fries to the little sister and growing up through life up to her wedding. And I thought, I miss my brother. So I picked up the phone and called the recruiter. And I joined at 17. My mom had to sign my enlistment papers because I was still a minor. Went to San Diego for school and then spent 5 years in Norfolk, Virginia. And that's where I met my husband. Oh my gosh. I was on top of the world with my family. I had 2 grown children, grandbaby on the way, first grandchild, just finished my doctorate. So everything was going great, even physically. I was running 3 miles 3 times a week, working out with weights. 2 seconds later, I just tumbled down. My toe dropped, so I hit a little piece of the tarmac and tumbled on the ground. And it was a pretty significant fall. I lost all the skin off my hand and I was sore. And then I noticed just in the house, I'm walking and I just take 3 steps to the left. It was like I had 3 glasses of wine without the benefits. I just started stumbling. And one neurologist said, "No, you're fine. I can't help you anymore." And I'm like, "No, I'm not fine." So I found another neurologist and finally ended up with happened to be a woman who didn't think I was crazy. And she said, "Let's find out what's going on." So the symptoms started in August of 2012. And then I got a probable diagnosis in April. They said, "Yeah, we're not sure, but it looks like ALS because there's nothing else there and this is what's left." And then I went to the Forbes Norris ALS clinic that does nothing but ALS and other neuromuscular disorders and got a definite diagnosis the end of May. And then that started our journey with ALS.
You know, when this first happened, once we got over the initial shock, and I was angry. Truthfully, when it first happened, I was very angry with God, angry with the world just because this happened. But it really, in many ways, is an honor for me to be able to, she's my soulmate, we're best friends, and for me to be able to be there for her is an honor.
It's really hard on friends and family. And sometimes I would even say it's easier on me than it is, my young daughter who's a new mom and the second baby on the way. And at that time in life, you just really need your mom. My son, that mother-son relationship we're so close and I just adore everything about him. And I don't want him to have to be without his mom. And I still have my parents and a brother and really close friends who are so dear to us. And when you have a fatal diagnosis or terminal illness, people kind of freak out because then they have to face their own mortality when they're around you. I was never a very patient person and I was always in a hurry and wanted to go and go and go. And now I find that I have to wait a lot more because Steve does everything for me. I have to wait for him to do those things. Or I have to wait to get on an elevator, or I have to wait to find a ramp, or I have to wait for the accessible bathroom spot where somebody's changing their clothes and having a phone conversation and it's the only restroom I can get into, right? Rather than reacting and being angry, I just stop and I look around, what can I be grateful for right now? Because I don't know how many moments I'm gonna have left, right? How many hours or days or weeks or months or years. My life message, my life motto has always been forgiven and free. I'm forgiven and free, and just kind of reached an emotional and spiritual maturity in my life where you let go of the drama and you choose to rejoice and you choose to love and not be so worried about what everybody thinks. So I always had a message that I want other people to be forgiven and free, to live a life of joy and gratitude. And then not to get caught up in the craziness. It's that peace that transcends understanding that's just in the marrow of your bones that nothing can shake, which really has to do with my relationship with God. I know I can't control anything in my world or what's going to happen tomorrow. And so giving up that need to control has been really followed by a sense of peace. I'll have some questions for God when I get over the other side. Maybe I won't care by then. But I don't say, why me? Because why not me? I have access to so much support and resources. I was looking at the ALS Association's national website and they're talking about veterans and I read in this tiny print that ALS is a presumptive condition, meaning if you've ever served successfully in the military and you end up with ALS, that they assume it's service-connected. So it was like a golden ticket of having 100% disability rating for the military. Paralyzed Veterans Association, the VA, has been phenomenal, and the ALS Association, which has a national ALS association as well, have just been super supportive. We're just really on the cusp of understanding what ALS is and what is that disease progression and what causes it and what's actually going wrong. Well, 20% will live beyond 5 years and 10% will live beyond 10 years. And I've always found myself to be an overachiever. I said, I'm gonna hit that 10 plus year mark. I want to watch my grandchildren grow up. And there's so much promise, there's so much hope. Maybe 2 years from now we'll have an effective treatment. And I could live like this the rest of my life, if I could stop here. And I pray for a cure, and I pray for the symptoms to stop. And I have hundreds of people praying for me. And I literally, in my spirit, feel the buoyancy of other people's prayers that hold me up physically, hold me up emotionally, hold me up spiritually. I think that kind of support and love is what gives me hope and gives me encouragement and a reason to live and a reason to find gratitude and joy, because I know I'll never be alone, and that I'm going to be taken care of.